Welcome back to the RVR Couple. My wife wanted the day off and I got to do whatever video I wanted to, so I wanted to share with you what's been really concerning me lately. Because if we don't do something, a lot of Americans are going to be eating their pets. It's not funny, I know, but I'm asking for 5 minutes of your time to watch two short videos that I think perfectly illustrate exactly what's going on in the United States of America right now. And after these 2 short videos, I'm going to give you 5 things that we can do as American citizens to try to save this country from the uniparty.
The Democrat open borders plan to entrench single-party rule, explained in under 2 minutes. 1. Flood the country with untold millions of illegals by land, sea, and air from all over the world, enough to eclipse the populations of 36 individual U.S. states so far. 2. Prioritize the needs of these millions of non-citizens over the needs of the American citizen, with free flights, buses, hotels, meals, and phones, ensuring their loyalty to the political party that imported them. 3. Keep them in the country at all costs, even when they commit violent crime like murder and rape. Attack the language used to describe the criminals, as opposed to the criminals themselves. Slander critics as racist. 4. Ensure their privileges are made irrevocable with city and state sanctuary laws that act as population magnets. Codify permanent status and ensure non-cooperation with ICE. 5. Count the non-citizens in the census that will determine congressional apportionment in the House of Representatives. As of now, that would equal 13 extra congressional districts, a tremendous amount of electoral power. 6. Wage a massive, heavily funded lawfare campaign to change state voting laws that legalize mass mail-in ballots, no signature verification, and no proof of citizenship requirements, making it nearly impossible to prove voter fraud. 7. Lock in the permanent voting majority with campaign promises of lavish benefits and permanent privileges, enshrining generational fealty to the Democrat Party. 8. Win elections. 9. Entrenched single-party rule has been achieved. The best part? Your tax dollars are paying for it.
Man, if that doesn't send a chill down your spine, I don't know what will. Our next video is about President Biden's Executive Order 14019. Watch this.
I want to ask you about President Biden's Executive Order 14019 on promoting access to voting. Can you speak to some of the concerns with this executive order?
Absolutely. First of all, I believe that it's unconstitutional. But having said that, why is it that the Biden administration has absolutely resisted every effort to turn over any of the plans by any of the agencies? The House Committee on Administration issued subpoenas in July to every cabinet secretary and have asking for the plans for implementing Executive Order 14019. And not a single agency plan has been turned over to the House Administration Committee. And I included in my written testimony a file from a whistleblower who sent to me. He is a U.S. Marshal, and he sent the Department of Justice guidelines, instructions to all the U.S. Marshals, requiring them, notifying them that they are required to offer voter registration materials and voter education materials to everyone with whom they come into contact, including, and he sent me a file of someone who had to be registered to vote, who is a prisoner in a Texas federal facility. He's imprisoned for violating federal law because he was deported and returned. He's a Mexican citizen. It says that in his file, and he was registered to vote, and they're required to give him voter registration materials. That is happening in federal prisons all over the country.
So let me ask you, then, is it your understanding that they are actually implementing the very plans that they refuse to turn over to Congress?
They're absolutely doing that, and we only know, we get bits and snatches from people, from whistleblowers and from various sources, but nothing official. And if you want to know the most, you go to the Demos website, which is a left-wing organization, and they have literally been dispatched by the White House to federal agencies to help them implement this plan. They know more about what's going on in these agencies to implement this executive order than any member of Congress.
Are they involved with implementing the executive order?
Yes, they are.
And are they in compliance with FACA or the Federal Advisory Committee Act?
No, they are not. No, they are not.
So they're violating FACA.
They are violating that. Yes, they are. And they brag about all the agencies that they have assisted over the last 3 years with implementing the executive order.
This executive order obviously involves these various federal agencies in the voting process. And besides the concern that these agencies do not have expertise in this area, should the American people be concerned that this will be administered by politically appointed officials of the Biden-Harris administration?
Well, absolutely, because the original executive order required that every plan had to be submitted to the White House, to the director of the Office of Domestic Policy, which at the time was held by Susan Rice. And it also goes on to say that federal funds and grants will be disseminated through the White House by the Office of Domestic Policy, by Susan Rice, and we do not know to this day who got the grants, how much they got. We know nothing about that.
So in terms of these plans, were they all submitted to the White House for review?
We presume that they were, because they were directed to do that, but we don't know.
And they're being implemented as we speak.
They are being implemented.
But we as Congress have not been able to get our hands on the documents.
Not a single document.
I guess I have a question. Why would they want to hide this information?
That's a good question.
As promised, you guys, I told you I was going to give you 5 things to do to try to help save our country and restore our constitutional republic. Number 1 is pray. Guys, we all got to pray. We've gotten so far off course. We got to get back into the book, back into studying the Bible, back into helping one another, watching out for one another, and getting close to God. Number 2, we have to pay really close attention to what's going on within and around our communities. Pay attention. It's moving into Alabama now. Okay, these immigrants are going into small towns. They're being flown there. They're being bused there by the millions. 15 to 20 million is the estimation since Biden took office. Number 3, we got to call Congress. We got to call our local congressman, our senator. We got to let them know that it's not okay for 15 to 20 million illegal immigrants or prisoners. We got to stop Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, from passing another CR to kick the can down the road and give the Democrats a budget extended through the election. We cannot let that happen. We've got to hold up that budget. Number 4, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. They want us all to be afraid. They want us afraid and confused and lonely. Build your own community. Get to know who your neighbors are. Again, if you did step number 1 and you're praying, you already should have some peace in your heart knowing that everything's going to be okay. And we've already won this battle. We won it when Jesus died on the cross. And number 5, just prepare for anything. Who knows what's going to happen next? Please share this video. Share this video. Get this out to as many other Americans as you possibly can. It's so important that everybody focuses on what the problem is. That's the gig. That's the gig, guys. That's what all the past 4 years and all these 15 to 20 illegal immigrants have been. It is to sway the next election. We can't let them do it. Can't let them do it. So God bless you, God bless America, and I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully Mercedes will be back.